Today is September 11th, a day in which we remember the terrible coordinated terror attacks that took place here in our great country 19 years ago. It was a day which so fundamentally changed the way we view life, the way we view the world, and the way things work. Everything from the way that we travel to our relationships with foreign countries, everything was shaped by this day. But as citizens of this great country, you must remember that it was on this day that over 3,000 innocent people lost their lives. And so we must take the time to mourn. Because, it's interesting. I think at this point, so many of us could go through a September 11th without even thinking about what this day meant. And it was only less than 20 years ago, 19 years ago to the day. And yet, again, we could kind of go through our daily lives, even those of us who lived through it. Do you remember that harrowing sense of fear, of unknown? I remember I was learning in yeshiva at the time in New York, and young and married. And I remember the incredible uncertainty. The bridges were closed. I couldn't get home. Fighter jets flying at low altitude. I'd never seen anything. None of us had ever seen anything like it in our lives in this country. The uncertainty, the fear, the sadness. And yet, again, we move on because human nature is to move on. But it's important to take a moment on this day to remember those 3,000 and to remember that there are still so many families within this great country whose scars have not healed, whose wounds are still open, who forever have that void of a lost family member, of a lost loved one, who will never be with them again. And it's important that we bring our empathy as fellow citizens to just take a moment to remember their pain, to just take a moment to remember their sacrifice. And especially in these times in which we are living. My friends, I don't want to get political, but we are living in such divisive times. And it's tragic because the truth is, the ability to find a common ground, the ability to disagree agreeably or disagree with dignity, or just carry on a conversation where someone could at least acknowledge that you're entitled to an alternate opinion, those days seem to have gone. The ability to articulate an opinion that might be in contrary to someone else's often labels you with all kinds of labels, of designations. Maybe they do reflect who you are, maybe they don't reflect who you are. But we're living in such terribly divisive times. And it is easy to point the finger of responsibility to one person. You could say it's this person. You could say it's that person. You could say it's this group. You could say it's that group. But if we're really introspective and engage in cheshbon nefesh, which is what we're supposed to do during this time of year, we all play a role. No one person could tear apart a country. No one person could bring people to literally hate each other. One person could stoke the fire. Two people could do a lot. Groups of people could certainly tear apart part of the fabric of society. But society only begins to unravel. This level of discord and disgust is only when all of us participated in it somehow. It took all of us to get here. And it's going to take all of us to get out. This may sound strange, but one of the most beautiful and incredible things in the aftermath of September 11th was our unity, our national unity. The truth is, crisis usually breeds unity, but this was a unity that was palpable. You felt proud to be a citizen of this country. You felt proud of our armed forces. You felt proud of our police, firefighters, public servants. You felt proud to be part of a country where everyone was literally willing to give for the other. For who amongst us could ever go ahead and forget the scenes of individuals, firefighters, policemen running into burning buildings, not for covet, not for accolade, not for honor, but to save people they didn't even know. There was such achdus, there was such palpable unity in the aftermath of September 11th. But how quickly we forget, and how quickly we allow ourselves to descend into societal chaos. So maybe the Avodah, maybe it's what we're supposed to focus on over the course of this September 11th and the coming days. As I know this is going to sound strange, let's get back to what we were in those days. Let's get back to that unity. Let's get back to that dialogue with dignity. Let's get back to the ability to disagree agreeably. Let's do that. And no, it's not the responsibility of any one person. No one person could change the fabric of society. all of us together change the fabric of society. And it begins with our basic interactions. If you disagree with someone politically, don't hate them for their views. And don't label them in a certain way because they support someone else than you for president. Don't go ahead and just simply write off people. And I know people are going to watch this and they're going to say, oh, I know what Rabbi Silver's talking about. He's talking about the Republicans. He's talking about the Democrats. I'm talking to all of us because we're all doing it. We're labeling each other. We are literally going ahead and painting each other into a corner because of candidates we support or because of policies we support. You're entitled to your views. And you're entitled to your emotional and passionate views. And you should be passionate about anything and everything you want to be passionate about. But don't use your passion to hate me. And I won't use my passion to hate you. Because we live in a great country. A country which safeguards our views and allows us to be passionate on a variety of different issues. But a country that also requires mutual respect for the other. You're going to support your candidate, and I love you even if I disagree with you. And I'm going to support my candidate, who I'm not going to share with you. And hopefully you'll still love me, even if somehow, someway you figure out my political views one day. Let's get back to the America after September 11th. Let's get back to that. You know, my friends, unfortunately, we don't have leadership that is going to help us do this. We don't, unfortunately, have a president who's going to help us with it, and we don't have presidential nominees who are going to help us. We don't have anyone who is going to help us make shalom. It's tragic. We don't help anyone. We don't have anyone who really cares enough about the soul of this country and the soul of its people to say, let's figure out the way to really build relationships. Everyone is just interested in deconstructing the other. Everyone is really just interested in scoring points. Everyone just wants to be popular with some particular movement that is going to earn them another 4 years. That's the reality. And it's anyone who tells you otherwise, I think, is deluding themselves. Everyone, unfortunately, it feels like in our political leadership, is just in it for themselves. And so, my dear friends, if our leadership is in it for ourselves, it's time for us, the regular people, the regular men and women of this country, to do something different. You'll say, but how could I affect change? You can. Because if you dialogue with dignity with your neighbor, you're affecting change. And if you tell him, you know what? I disagree with what you're saying. I think your views are crazy, maybe even bordering on moronic. But I respect your ability to have them, and I respect you as a person. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Or if not at least friends, let's at least have the ability to talk with one another. It's very sad to me. I feel very privileged to be a resident of this country. My heart lives in Eretz Yisrael. And my soul lives in Eretz Yisrael. And one day I hope, in Yirtzeh Hashem, that I will make it back to our ancestral land. Hopefully in the upright position, not lying down. That's my goal, that's my dream, that's my aspiration. But until that day, I'm a proud citizen of the United States of America. I'm a proud citizen, and I've always been a proud citizen. Because this is a great country. There is no other country like it. I'm not talking on a religious level right now. There is no other country like it where you could have opportunity. There is no other country where if you put in the effort, you can make something of yourself. There is no other country where you could say whatever you want, as crazy as it may be. And your right to free speech is protected. There is no other country where if you work hard, there are opportunities for you. It is a privilege to be a citizen of this great nation. And I think we all felt that privilege 19 years ago, when the fires were still smoldering, when we did not know what to be. We felt the collective embrace. We felt the security of being a citizen of the United States of America. We knew that our country would protect us. We knew that we would be cared for. Let's try to bring that back a little bit now. On this September 11th, it's nice to remember, and it's nice to pause for a moment of silence, and it's nice to ring bells. Those are all very nice things, and it's beautiful and meaningful to read names. But more importantly, on this September 11th, let's do something to begin to affect change. Grassroots change. Don't argue with your family about politics. Let them have their views, even if you disagree with them, even if you think they're dead wrong. Let's not bring politics into the confines of our shuls, of our organizations. Let's figure out what we could build on that unites us, and not to use our political choices, views, as a way of dividing us. Let's get back to the America of September 11th, the America of unity, the America of Achdus. I hope that on this day we will take the opportunity to say a kapitel of Tehillim, to recite a chapter of Psalms for all those who perished. May their neshamas have an aliyah. May their families be granted a nechama. And may each of us do our part as citizens of this great country to bring out the greatness of America, to bring out the unity amongst its citizens. And Amir Hashem, may this new year bring incredible bracha for this country, our country, the United States of America. May the new year bring incredible bracha for our spiritual homeland, our ancestral homeland, Eretz Yisrael, the state of Israel. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu finally find a way to shower His bracha of peace. Peace, shalom, which is so elusive in our day-to-day lives, and peace which is so elusive in our greater world. I hope this bracha will come true. I hope we will see this bracha come to fruition. I take the opportunity to wish all of you a good Erev Shabbos, a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh, and a Mir Hashem a ksiva v'chasima tova.